What's new? What's hot? One shot. I need more. What's new?
The new generation.
The 4th of July, you know, it typically, you know, it meant something, and it still means something for some people. But now, since the onset of George Floyd and really the awakening of black people and the unveiling of all of these racist systems, you know, it just has a different overtone. So we're going to take calls and have conversations around this, see how people are feeling. And then, you know, it's normally the travel season. People are not traveling. You know, you really need to stay at home, to be perfectly honest with you. And if you think that you want to look cute and get out here and catch something, the second wave hasn't started yet. We're still dealing with the first wave of idiots who think that scientists are stupid. So, you know, people now have to have virtual barbecues. All of the parties and things that I participate in normally during the summer is gone. The chosen few picnic. Oh my God, man,
It's done.
you know, that hurt me. It stabbed me in my heart. You know, I'm still dealing with that. Not just the chosen few,
The
but
Silver Room block
the
party.
Silver Room. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Why did you remind me, Sandy?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, like all of those things. Ravinia. But, you know, people cannot celebrate the way that they are used to celebrating.
Yep.
So with that, I just want to say we really like to try to be as considerate as possible on this show. Tonight, we do have a fantastic show in store for you.
Yes.
And do you know how I know it's going to be a fantastic show? Because Netta was on time today. Yes, she was, y'all. Yes, she was. My girl Netta was on
Right.
time today.
Don't do me, Ken.
No, I'm not going to do you. I will not do you. I will not do you at all. All right, so here's the rundown of our show for this evening. First thing we are going to talk about is Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Will and I, the team is here. They'll chime in. We're going to open up the phone lines for you guys immediately, 591-1690. That's the number for you to connect. Lori has put forth a few things, and some people are, you know, not feeling it. So we'll delve into that and see how you guys are feeling about that. Later on in tonight's program, we want to talk about Jada Pinkett-Smith and Will Smith. And what is it called, polygamy?
Yes.
I don't know exactly what they have. Polyamory.
Polyamory.
Or an open,
Well,
the
whatever they
speculated
have.
open relationship.
No, it's not speculated, Sandy. It's not speculated.
Have they confirmed it?
Well, all the pictures that I've seen, I mean, I ain't in the bed, so I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. I just seen all the pictures. I even saw one with Queen Latifah in the background, like smiling at the girl. Like, yeah, we're
Don't come for Queen Latifah.
I saw
I'll
that
fight
picture
you.
too,
I have
though.
to
I
fight
saw
Did you
that
see the picture?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll have to fight you.
When you know your homegirl doing some shady stuff or whatever.
you and I,
She
T
do-
Y.
I mean, if she's
You
at
and
the
I,
she's at the
T-Y.
BET Awards with him, so she can't be doing nothing too shady that he don't know about.
Yeah, no. You know what? That's going to be a really great conversation, especially during this holiday weekend on a Friday night, of course.
Right.
Only us, we could cover that
Right,
topic
right.
quite well. And I'm definitely going to listen to what people have to say about that. And then later on, during the Lit Roundtable, there's a couple of things that are out there. The first thing is the NFL is now saying that they're going to play the Black National Anthem during the first week of the NFL beginning playing football. My thing is, why are they only going to do doing it for 1 week?
Right.
So I want to get people's opinions on that. What were you about to say, Will?
Man, NFL is 90% black. 1 week? That's it. That's
Right.
like
Like, why
that's
a
like
week?
Black
Why-
History
why-
Month.
why
But the
even bother?
ownership
It's like
is
Black History Month. We get the shortest month of the year.
But the ownership, that's a conversation. We'll wait until later on this evening. And then, of course, we have to talk about what everybody else has been talking about, and that is the 4th of July and what it truly means to some. Everybody is not being dismissive of the 4th of July, and rightfully so. There are so many black people who have contributed. There's a lot of black people
Right.
who have contributed to this country and absolutely should be saluted and, celebrated because of their contributions to this country. So I think that there are different lanes, and we'll get into those to discuss, why people feeling the way that they feel. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all heard me on Juneteenth. I'm riding with Juneteenth until the world blow up.
That's
until
right.
Jesus Christ cut the lights off on this planet. I'm team
Yep.
Juneteenth. As Naya's eyes get big. Don't worry about it. Folks, don't touch the dial. Of course, it's the Friday night show. Happy holidays. It's Kendall. We're back in a moment.
Kendall Moore.
As we embark upon this weekend, it's a lot for us to unravel and talk about. Let's be very cognizant of being responsibly, socially, when it comes to distancing, as well as wearing your mask. Will, let's start with you.
What up?
Mayor Lori Lightfoot, has she gone too far? She has told people, if you're coming from those red states where all this COVID is coming from, you can't come here. We're going to trace you. We're going to trace you down.
We're going to trace you down.
Like Harriet Tubman. We're going to trace you
Oh
down.
my goodness.
Yeah, well.
How you feeling about that?
I'm trying to figure out how she going to do it.
Right.
That's
how
the $1,000,000 question.
Are you going to put people at the border of Illinois and Indiana and Wisconsin and Michigan to make sure they don't come in?
Like,
I mean,
how
the
does that
airport is
happen?
different.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Are you gonna put people at their hotel room doors and
Yeah.
their guest houses?
How do you and she's saying you have to quarantine for 14 days.
14. Most
Well,
people aren't even here that long.
That's vacation right there.
You have to. So
like you're in and out in like maybe 4 or 5 days.
Tops.
If you're on business, yeah.
I guess you just gotta like stay in Evanston, Northbrook. You cannot come into the
Can't
city.
come into Chicago. They don't want you out there neither. If you're COVID-19.
But is it something? Real talk though. But is it something that can actually be implemented? Because she really sounds like she's trying to stand on that. Can you? What about the people who are driving in? How do you
Right.
stop them? Especially as you
Right.
mentioned, the Indiana border, the Wisconsin border, the Michigan border.
Iowa border.
Iowa is right there.
How do you?
The people coming from Atlanta. I know people.
Missouri border.
People who are coming from Texas, to be honest with you, because they,
Yeah.
there's a whole big Texas-Chicago connection, and people are driving. How do you actually implement and put something like that in place?
Yeah, that sounds something like the borders, like when they have in when you're leaving America and going to South America, Mexico, and they have people at the border patrol and they watching you and they checking your papers. What's she gonna take everybody's temperature before you come up in here? I
But
mean,
then when they
it's-
get in here, how do you
Right.
keep them
How
inside?
do you keep them right?
Yeah, and how do you know that they haven't contracted it and it hasn't blown up yet? They haven't. You know what I'm saying?
It hasn't
shown.
properly incubated yet. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a good thought to say, hey, you can't come here, but
File this under. It sounds good,
right.
but
Maybe she's trying to deter people.
yeah.
yeah.
Just make them reconsider their plans. I think it would have been more effective to have stricter social distancing rules in place. If they come here, everybody's got to wear a mask, or
Yeah.
you have to social distance, and just because I think people got more lax in the last month or so.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
not wearing masks anymore. The lines are starting to compress a little bit. No
Yeah,
one's
yeah.
no one's
Not
holding
me,
their
man.
space.
Look, I'm wearing my mask. I got 3 of them now. Look here. Don't come up on
Well,
me.
we absolutely are social
Give
distancing.
Will his space.
And, but
come
listen,
up
but
on
they
me.
have opened. So Chicago, Illinois has opened up. I heard.
Oh, yeah.
I heard Governor Pritzker on yesterday saying that they were not going to adjust anything just yet because our numbers are still going down. Even as early as late as this morning, the numbers are still going down. So, go figure with this one.
Well,
What do you think? I mean, well, hell, it's hot outside. People are outside.
People are out. I was at a restaurant today. I had some tacos. They were delicious. And we were out on the patio, and they had a packed house. Like, it was packed.
Were they
And
socially distanced though?
so they
Same.
had the tables, 6 feet apart outside on the patio. You had to wear your mask anytime your server came to the table, or if you went inside, you had to wear your mask. But other than that, I mean, it was like a regular restaurant day, like people are just out kind of doing their normal regular thing, but still trying to do it in these confines of being socially distant.
yeah, I guess the question is how many people are actually being hospitalized with it as well? Are those numbers going down? Are they going up? Here in Illinois?
No, Illinois
How-
what is that? The curve is like way down. I think
Okay.
the positivity rate is like less than 3%.
Okay, and
Like,
then
real
here
talk.
comes Harold from Florida.
Right.
And
So
he
the mayor
affects
doesn't want
everybody.
us to lose that momentum. We've been doing really well. We've been in the forefront of all the other states in the country. So she doesn't want us to lose that momentum, which makes complete sense. But how do you enforce something like this?
And then I heard about the ambassadors that that they have deployed for this weekend. I know,
Oh,
right? I'm looking
yeah.
at that. They're like, what?
Ambassadors?
No, they're social distance
Yeah.
ambassadors.
So if they
Monitors,
yeah.
hall
Monitors,
monitors,
yeah.
we got hall
You
monitors.
can't make this stuff up. You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they literally. But listen, I saw one
Secret
lady.
shoppers.
I saw one lady. They were interviewing her, and she that was her role. A little Nancy. That's what we call white girls now?
Karen.
Karen. Look, Karen. She was like, she tried to trace down somebody. And she said she got cussed out. I saw the interview. I was just cracking
She tried to trace them.
I want to know how much
Like
this
follow
pays.
them or like digitally trace their
No,
steps?
like I guess I don't know exactly
wanna be
what
an
Tracers
ambassador.
does or
No, you don't.
ambassador.
She's a
How much does
contact
that
tracer.
pay?
a contact tracer.
Really?
And she reached out. They interviewed her. I don't know what it was on NBC or something like that. And she said, just poor little Karen. They cussed me out and they wouldn't give me their information and told me to never call them again.
Oh wow.
I started rolling.
Yeah.
But you can't send a chicken into a wolf or
Right,
wolf
right,
den,
right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Imagine black people don't want you knocking on their door for the damn census.
At all.
Right.
Let alone you talking about what were you at the party the other night? Man, you loud to get
that's,
shot.
that's the cut. Those are the type of questions they're asking them.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
they're trying to trace where they've been.
We need to talk to a contact tracer and see.
if you are a contact
Right.
tracer
How
or
they
if
doing
you
it?
are a social distance ambassador, please call us.
Social distance
Ambassador.
I would, yeah, they gave him a real cute name.
So they
I wonder how
drive
much
down
they
the
get
street
paid.
in cars and get out and say, "Excuse me, folks, you're a little bit too close. Could
They
you
gonna
please
be-
step apart a little bit?"
They're gonna
Then
be
you-
like, get your
Right,
out
right.
my before I
Get
fill
your
in the blanks.
COVID police face.
But you know, some apps automatically download tracing on your phone. If you go into your settings in your phone, you'll see where it says COVID-19 tracing, and
Oh,
it,
wow.
Oh,
it
so
says you can turn
your
it on and
steps?
off.
so it can trace your steps.
Your,
every place
your
you go.
GPS locations
Okay.
and where you've been. And in my phone specifically, I have a Galaxy S8. It says there is an app on my phone that has COVID tracing, but it just says one app. It won't tell me which app it is.
Ooh.
So I have no idea which one of these 200 apps on my phone is tracing my every move.
All
And
right.
I didn't
You didn't put it
download-
on there.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I paid my bill. I got a Galaxy S8 as well. I paid my bill the other day,
Uh-huh.
and prior to me, and I do it over my phone. And prior to me doing it,
Uh-huh.
the Sprint, one of my carriers, because I have two phones, is Sprint, and they were like, "Yeah, we want to let you know that we're collecting your private information, and if you want us to stop doing this, you need to visit our website, and so that you can." And I was like, really, who's gonna go to do all of that?
But that's what they're banking on. They know most
Right.
people aren't going
Yeah.
to
But
go to the site.
I definitely need to do that, especially hearing what you just stated, though.
Oh, side pieces beware. That's all I can tell.
I got a story for y'all about that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, one of my friends, he told me a real funny story about that. All right, so social distancing again. As we began tonight's program, I would just humbly implore all of you who are out there to make sure that you are in compliance with what is being stated.
Yeah.
You know, be responsible because, you know, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. This virus will not play with you. And I you know, from Dr. Fauci to all of these other people that the director for CDC, they're saying it's real.
It's real.
And all of those states from the West Coast down to the Gulf Coast, all the way down, you know, Bible Belt, and
Right.
then down to Florida, those states are red, meaning that
Yeah.
people have coronavirus.
Yeah.
And not just that, but the ages they're younger and younger now. And so now the young people, they go back home, they go to their parents,
Yep.
boom, there it is.
But they actually are saying that the parents are more likely to give it to the child than the child is. Their immune system. I heard him talking about it earlier, and I forget the doctor who was on, but he says that the parents most likely will give it to the child, depending on where they are, because kids have really strong immune systems. That's what I heard.
COVID. All right, folks, when we return, we got to take a break. We need to touch on all of this senseless violence that is taking place in our city. Big shout to Father Michael Flager over there at St. Sabina. To salute you, sir. Big shout, my girl Diane Latiker, kids off the block. You know, we have had senseless killings that have been taking place for the past 3 weeks. I don't want to quote myself as being wrong, but at least 4 to 5 young folks under the age of 6 who have been shot and killed. When we return, we want to spend a little bit of time on that and see what is going on. 591-1690, that's the number to connect and participate in tonight's program. I'm Kendall.
Kendall Moore will
be on Facebook Live. We're going to make sure, I am going to at least attempt to read some of the comments. I do want to say hello to my people out in Mississippi. Big shout to my Mississippi girls, Valerie and Sharon. Big shout to them. Valerie, Sharon, I'm sending you a shout. I tremendously respect the work that you did in getting the Mississippi flag changed and getting the Confederate flag removed from it. So big shout to the state of Mississippi, Valerie and Sharon. All right, so this weekend it's here. People are already outside. The fireworks are.
Oh my
I am
goodness.
so glad that
Oh
I
my God.
now reside in an area that my neighbors are respectable. When I was on the west side all day long, I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
I was part of the riffraff. You
Oh,
know, I was
okay.
going to Indiana, picking up all of the fireworks,
Okay.
coming back on the block and blowing the block up. I wanted M80s, I wanted half a bricks of dynamites, but like
You
real-
were one of those people.
I was one of those until
Yeah.
they turned me around.
Man.
You
You
know,
reformed, brother. You,
I
you
am
have seen the
reformed.
light.
I have.
All right.
I
Come
have.
and reform your friends.
Right.
Because they've been acting up the last 2 months.
I mean, but the fireworks, where are they getting these fireworks from?
Indiana.
Indiana.
As usual.
The discount because it didn't get sold during COVID.
But look, they simultaneously, it appears that they're all happening at the same. When we leave the studio,
Yeah.
Netta, you and I, we are in the south suburbs.
I was gonna say my story doesn't match your story because I hear it all day, every
Yeah.
day,
Right. They don't
Do you
wait
even
until
in
nighttime.
Baltimore?
They don't
Yes.
wait until
They are
nighttime
re-
either.
Really?
until probably 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you saying that the thugs out in the suburbs, they have etiquette?
Whoa, wait a minute, time. We didn't
Okay.
even say the people in the city were thugs who were popping the
Come on, man.
fireworks.
Look here. You popping fireworks off at 3 in the morning. Come on,
Or
man.
12 in the afternoon.
12 in the
You
afternoon,
can't
come on.
even see them.
Come on.
Friday.
You see them. You
People
just
ain't got
like
no
the noise.
jobs.
You like
You
the
know what I
noise.
mean? Like,
The dynamite.
come on, man.
Boom.
Oh, my
You
God.
heard that? Look, man, I live on the west side. It's normal to me. I woke. Oh, I
But
heard
see,
a
it
firecracker.
shouldn't be normal.
It
So
should
it's
not be
like
normal.
you want to sweep the streets this weekend. Can we sweep some of these people who are out just randomly blasting fireworks? They are illegal in Illinois. Can we just start there?
No.
Can we just start there?
It's not going to
It's
happen
illegal.
because before this they were still getting them and firing them off, and what can you do?
But
If
at
you
least
just-
they
a month
kind
will.
of waited until the 4th of July. They've been
but
literally
Juneteenth,
fireworks.
and but
for the last 2
They're
months.
kicking them off. It's just something
All
about
hours
that.
of the day.
And to be honest with you, sometimes I don't know if it's a gunfire or
And that's
firework.
the scary part. That's
You
the
know, but
scary
I hear it
part.
off
You're
in the
always on
distance.
alert. We all are suffering from PTSD. So every time I hear a boom, you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You honestly don't know, and that shouldn't become normalized.
And speaking of the booms, though, so here, this is what we're going to be talking about this half hour. All of these shorties that's getting killed out here.
Yes.
now.
Right.
All of the babies.
Yes.
So big shout, Diane Latiker, really good, tremendous friend of mine. Big shout, Father Michael Flager. Father Mike was out there yesterday doing, walking. So from all of that going on, with all of this, with the fireworks, et cetera, now we got these babies out here killing babies.
Right.
Or from
Well, that's what they are.
From retaliatory type of
Right.
behavior, but the babies are dying now.
Yeah.
Here's
Right.
my question though, like real talk, and I don't want to get animated, but why do we march and tear up the world when racist police do what they do to black people, but we don't do or have the same fervor when our black children are being killed senselessly by a dude named off the block? We not turning them in, or they're not turning them in.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And I can't say this is a reason or an answer, but these recent uprisings, we know exactly who did what to George Floyd. Like we know the people, we know the person.
Sandy,
we know
who,
Breonna
people
Taylor.
in the,
We know
people in the hood know who doing them shootings too. Though, go ahead. I ain't gonna cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, no, well, you cut me up. No, but
All
I'm saying, but I mean, that's one way that I frame it. It's like, okay, we know exactly who these people are, and they're going away. They're getting away, you know, not arrested, not doing any time. There's nothing. But some of these are just drive-bys. I won't say random because some of them are not random, but a lot of them seem like they are just randomly. You're just going to shoot into a yard full of children.
Well, they were shooting
and
at
so they
somebody
may
else.
not know, you know, if nobody was on the porch with those children or whatever, like they may not know who that person was. They can speculate, okay, who's in the area, who's working this block. Like they may know who to kind of go after, but
Yeah.
can
I
we
find it hard to
pinpoint
believe that
who the
these are
person
all
is?
random.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
not
you.
like it was a
Thank you.
like a stray bullet. It's somebody who was shooting at somebody and hit the wrong person.
Right, right. Or the bullet
Thank
just
you, Netta.
went where it wanted to go because they just shooting and it ricocheted and it goes through a wall and hits a young girl in her bed.
And what I
Good
would
night.
offer humbly to the panel is they got cameras for everything. If they can find Jesse Smollett's
Right.
people
Right.
and watch them go all the way to Subway and watch them walk
Why
all
can't
the
we
way.
never find any of
and
these
all of those
people?
cameras that are going on
Yeah.
the west sides and south sides of Chicago. You mean to like, please?
Yeah,
they,
but you
they
know what?
expect us to be stupid. They really do.
I believe the cameras are effective, but here's the thing. I took a course at the police academy.
Will, that's
years
another
ago.
job. How many
No,
jobs you got,
I
Will?
just took
Will
a lot.
got all
Will
my
has
jobs.
a lot of jobs.
I
He
took a
said
lot
a
of
course,
classes,
though.
but I took a course
Okay,
at the
course.
police academy.
Got
They
it.
showed me how the cameras work, and they showed me how most of them are on. Unfortunately, all of them are not on. But they showed me an actual shooting of a young man walked across the street and shot another young man. They said, yeah, we can identify him, but we don't know his name. In the sense, we know his face, we don't know his name, and unless other people are.
But
willing
is that
to
not
step up.
enough to start with?
It absolutely
And that's
is.
where they generally start at. But here's the thing: you asked earlier, why don't we get up in March when those babies get killed?
And that was my question.
Two things: the babies that are killing those babies, like I said, they're babies themselves. They probably 20, 30 years old or less, but they have undeveloped. They're underdeveloped. That's how they deal with violence. They grew up like that. On top of that, they are the ones most likely to have a problem with the police in the sense of abuse if they're constantly running into them. You and I we have problems with police brutality. You and I, we do. But not on the same level that they do. So it's kind of divisive what I'm saying. But you get where I'm going, right?
I do,
If
but I
you're
don't-
out there committing crime, you're going to run into the police, and it's going to be a problem.
Well, here's my thing, Will. I want to make sure that people don't think that so we're having a very interesting conversation. I don't want to make an excuse for those people who are out there senselessly killing
Right. I
our
agree.
kids.
I agree.
Big shout to Alderman Coleman over there in Inglewood for standing up and protecting her ward. Big shout to all of the people who are standing up in their communities. But more than anything, if we were to replay our show from December, this is the same conversation that we are having. You can't tell me that they got a satellite in the sky and Netta just said it. They could tell you where COVID is, but they can't tell you who shot that little baby. You can't. I don't believe that, Will. And here's the thing: you went to the police academy. I don't know how many jobs you got, but you went there, right?
We got 13 jobs,
Okay,
Mom.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. So since you did go there, you should know. In fact, they have a picture of a suspect.
Right.
You also know. People kill people in their communities.
Yeah.
They don't go outside of their community to kill. So it's only, you know who the killers are in the community. It's Bobo, it's JoJo, it's Ray Ray, it's Dude. Out of them four, they're splintered as far as the cliques are concerned. So
Right.
start with them.
Yeah, but I think
Hold on,
that-
let me say this. Like, check T.O. out sometime. T.O. with the ceasefire stuff that he does.
Right.
Man, they know. The problem is they're not turning them in.
Right.
And we're not having that conversation. We're allowing the politicians to politic and not lead.
Right.
And then the dope boys and the F boys and the thugs, They know who's done
Right,
it.
right.
The vigilante stuff that's going out. I'm gonna take revenge. You
Right.
shot my son or my cousin's son, so I'm finna send dude and them over there. Come on. Then you got this guy who's out of Texas, who's supposed to be the superintendent, don't even know what the hell he doing here. It's here. I can go on and on and on. I did not want to get started, but you got me
But no,
started.
it's
but
all
here's
right.
the
It's
thing:
what it is.
our
It's
babies
what
are
it
being killed
Yeah.
in these streets.
Yeah.
So we march and we complain when the racists do what they do to us, but we do not have the same fervor when our kids and our moms, our dads, our nieces, our nephews, when they're being shot. We don't do it.
I agree.
We hustling backwards.
Well, when we march against the police brutality, we're marching against institutional things. And that's an institution, police brutality. That's something that's always happened. We have crime, like you said, right here in our community. Everybody knows who does it, who's done it, but they don't say anything. And that's really the problem. It's really, I got to be honest with you, man, it's really on us. Because I'm going to tell you now, I always hear people say, well, where the men at standing up in the community? Where the strong women at standing in the community? You know where we at? Hell, we working. We ain't got time for Antoine and Maurice and Mookie to go tell them to get off the corner. Them your kids. Get your kid. Look, it's people, these guys do these crimes. They go right back home to their mama and their daddy and they sit on the couch. They play video games. We know who they is. You know who they is. But you're a working man. You are working women. We don't have time to sit here and we're trying to raise our kids. We can't raise everybody else's kids out there. So yeah, we do get out there and march against institutional racism. But when it's internal, we'll get out there too and do that. But the thing is, it's up for the bad parents out here who are parents to some of those idiots out here doing this shooting to stand up and be parents. No more excuses.
Listen,
Some of those parents have been working as well. So
Some
that
of
doesn't
them.
make them a bad
But you need to
parent
kick them
because-
out the house.
And then they'll be out the house and still
Kick
doing
'em out
the
the house.
craziness on the street.
Well-
That's not the
Well,
solution. You have to dig
I
deeper
think that
than
is the solution. I think we're
But
being
I
too
think
nice.
I think that is-
No, I don't either. Go ahead,
I think
Netta. I
when
don't
it
think that's
comes
the solution either, Will.
when it comes to the George Floyd protests and the riots and all of that's grandiose, and it is pseudo activism. People do it because it's cool, because everybody else is doing it. It's the
Right, I
trendy
agree.
thing
Some people
to
do. Some people
Some
do.
people, yeah,
Yeah,
some people
yeah.
are really, they have their heart in the right place. But I think the reason why it's so televised and it's on such a large scale and so many people are involved is because that's what everybody's doing. That's just
I
how
agree.
we are. We're socialized that way. We want to do what everybody else is doing. It's not cool to snitch on your neighbor or your cousin or the guy down the street. You saw it, but not only are you afraid,
Right?
we have this conditioning that you're not supposed to snitch.
Yeah, I agree.
When does it become cool though, y'all?
It-
How many of our until it's one of our babies, until it's one of our little nieces,
Right.
nephews, cousins.
Right.
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we don't know. So I see 6 different levels away from me. One of my friends' nephews or cousins done got shot. The babies over here, we still ain't found the little boy, the 3-year-old from a couple weeks ago who shot him. Back in the day, listen, y'all. Back in the day, real gang chiefs used to be like, who did it? Matter of fact, they didn't
Yes.
even have to ask who did it.
Right.
They know who did it
Yep.
because that was the code of the street.
It was
Right.
cold.
Dude, them did that, and it was Kendall.
Right.
I'm going to Kendall's chief.
Right.
Hey, turn him in, or we gonna kill him.
Right.
That's how that worked.
Right.
When they took that away from us.
Right.
Now you got 13, 16-year-olds who get a pack from the Mexicans. And I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Because that's who bringing all the damn drugs
That's who
in.
bringing it in.
Ain't no black people got no damn... here.
Hey,
your
I've been
plug,
there.
your
I saw
plug is
holes
Latino.
that were dug under
You
the
know,
border.
And so now, it's money.
say
But
that.
then when you couple it on top of the social ills that exist in the African American community,
Right.
Well, so what I disagree with you about is no, we do. It's been too long that we are still silent about our babies being killed. You got to have mamas out here. Where the men at?
But what
That's why
can-
I'm
That
waiting
part.
to hear Farrakhan
Yeah, that
tomorrow.
part.
But what
I
can
wanna hear
you do?
Farrakhan
What
gonna-
can you
what
do
is he
for
gonna-
lock
what he
them up,
putting in
though,
place
Kendall?
tomorrow?
Look,
I'm
I
listening to
care
him
about
at 10 o'clock tomorrow. here on WVON.
I'm
Go
with
ahead.
you. I'm going to be listening to him too. I'm with you about the babies being killed, but all I'm saying is this: I do not have time to go raise the woman's son across the street who deal in drugs. I managed a 18-unit building years ago with a young lady whose son sold drugs every day, and he got up like clockwork and went to that corner at 8 a.m. in the morning, and that's how he paid her rent or whatever she did. Okay, I tried to talk to him. He told me, "Get away from me, man. You don't know nothing about this." I grew up in this culture. My mama was this, my daddy was this, and this is how it is. So what can I do? I can talk to him. I'm not his daddy. I can't whoop him. I don't have time to be fighting somebody else's kid, and I'm trying to raise my kid. And the thing is, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Okay, I love Kim Fox. I support Kim Fox, but if you gotta lock them up, because I would rather have them locked up in prison and know where they at than have them out on the street and they trying to shoot somebody and they miss and hit a little girl.
And they always passing the buck, though. When you hear the politicians talk, well, it's the legislation downstate, and it's the gun legislation in the state of Illinois. You know, the bucks just keep getting passed along. You know, the pastors ain't doing nothing. So the pastors like, well, they're not opening their doors for people to come in. They collecting plates. Now let's move to the politicians.
See, it's
the teachers not doing anything. The men in the community are not doing anything.
Right.
It's a vicious cycle.
Right.
And that's all we're doing right now. It's going around saying whose fault it is. Real men have to stand up.
Right.
There's going to need to be a sacrifice in the black community by black men. That's really what's going. Will, to your point, when dude told you to get out of his face,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I got a family at home. I'm gonna get out his face because I want to go home to my family. The same way police officers want to go home to their family.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, look, man, that ain't right. But how do you tell that guy that ain't right? And that's the only means of him feeding his family.
Exactly.
Right. But that
Exactly.
doesn't mean that he's the guy who's shooting the other guy.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? That's what we do. We talk down.
I
We
agree
talk
with you
down
on
and we
that.
talk to
I agree
people.
with you on that. But
we don't
nine
say,
times
let
out
me
of
sit
10
here with you. I mean, I don't know how many young boys, how many young men I have mentored, and they say, you know what, Mr. Kendall, you going home to your family and you have a job. You fed me, you done helped me put my resume together. I got a background on me. Nobody will hire me, and I can't leave off of my block. Solve that for me, Mr. Kendall.
And
I dropped the mic. Solve that, Will. Solve that right there.
only thing I could possibly
Solve
tell
it.
him is he got to make the choice to leave. He got to be brave enough to leave and be willing to go through something to get somewhere.
He's
because we
unemployed.
all have, that's
He's
right.
undereducated.
That's right.
He has nowhere to go.
That's right. But it's not impossible. He's still alive. He's still able to do something. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's a hole. A lot of these young men and women out here who are doing this stuff, they have been birthed into a hole. You know, and we talk about this all the time. The prison industrial complex, the bill from 1994. But what I'm simply saying is they have to be brave enough and strong enough to go out here and be willing to start over. Yeah, I don't know what's it going to take. If you got to move out of the state, if you got to go away from all these people that you're dealing with and never ever see them again, it's going to take that. I knew a guy who I used to fight all the time in grammar school. He was a gang chief. His name was
Don't get the name out.
He dead now. He dead now.
Okay, go get a name
He
out.
dead now. His name was I think it was Reggie. I can't remember it right off the bat. I helped him move into his house out in the suburbs, out where you at. His name was Glenn. They killed Glenn later. He died later, but Glenn came to me, apologized for everything he had ever did to me, and we used to go at it. And my brother had got him and me together. You know, knew I had seen this guy in like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And he helped me move this. I helped this guy move out of his apartment into his house with his wife. And I didn't even realize it was him till he came to me. But he said, man, I was sorry for everything I ever did to you and the fights we did. I said, hey, it's cool, you know. But they killed him when he left.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Karen, Mark, I'm going to get to you. I assure you. 591-1690, that's the number to connect with us. The real conversation is, you know, cutting through all of the BS. Real talk. You're going to hear every politician and their mama on VON talking about what the strategy and all of this is. At the end of the day, everybody going home. with a paycheck in their pocket. They are going to care, but just caring is not enough. And that's what I'm telling those of you who are listening to tonight's program. Just saying that you care is not enough. It's not until you put some dirt in one of your own family members' face from a senseless killing that it's going to kick in and you will really get it. What are true solutions to solving what is going on in our community? Because if it's not, it's going to be somebody else. This weekend, Mayor Lightfoot has deployed police officers to corners. Hell, ain't nobody hustling like that no more. Ain't no more dope lines. Ain't no more soup lines. This may be one or two. Man, if you still in the dope game, you part of the you part of them people. You working for them. What am I saying? Before we get out of this, I am saying the antiquated ways that we have been addressing this. We are experts, absolute experts at telling people what the problem is. There are no immediate bullet solutions to solving it other than time. The sacrifice has to come from people like me and you, Will. People like those mothers who start their own organizations and open their doors like Diane and let them babies come in there. Killers be in there. But she transformed some of them by saying, I care. You made a mistake. You're going to pay for that. I'm going to help you get yourself together, but I got to turn you in. We in the community, we are so worried about ourselves and our own livelihood. When I opened up tonight's program, I was telling y'all about how many African Americans are unemployed.
Right.
People own households. If you can't feed your own family, what the hell are you thinking about trying to? That young boy making more money than you would make off of unemployment for the entire year. Right. You can't tell somebody who making $10,000 a month and you unemployed what to do. Do y'all understand what's going on with this?
Right.
But all we do is pontificate and talk about it. It's real. It's the we need tangible. We need, when I get off of the air, I'm going over to this spot and just sit there and hang out and talk. I can't give y'all no job. I don't have jobs to give y'all. But what I can give you is my time. And my time may stop Kendall from being sent off going to shoot dude.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We have to be in their faces. We have to stop using them as tokens for political pictures. The same way all of these politicians are hijacking what was going on with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
And now that shit is all watered down.
Yeah. It's fading
Now you
away.
got all of this other stuff connected to that, and people are like, man, please, I'm not rocking with that.
Right.
But you still got racists and white people who feel uncomfortable because they know they done did something to you,
Right.
pouring money into something that black people don't even rock with no more.
Right.
If we really want to have that conversation,
Right.
and we can say that all day long, Black Lives Matter, and we steady pouring millions and millions of dollars into that.
Well, I'm with.
And ain't nobody getting that money.
I'm with the slogan. I don't think I necessarily agree with the organization. I've read the website like everybody keeps talking about. It does not necessarily stand for the family or the black family. They want to tear down the nuclear family, the traditional family.
I know what you're talking about, Will.
And I know
what you're
people
talking
out
about.
there are offended by it. But I'm with the rallying cry. I'm not with the. Perhaps I'm not with the organization. I don't think the organization is right, and we don't run that organization.
We're not monolithic anyway. It ain't, and that's why people don't follow just Jesse Jackson. That's why people don't just follow Reverend Al Sharpton. That's why people don't just follow Barack Obama. That's why people don't just follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Right. We're not a monolithic people. And our kids at the bottom are not monolithic, and that is what their problem is. You cut off the head, people go bananas.
Right.
Bananas. And that is what is happening.
Yeah.
But that should be everybody's conversation. These babies are being killed.
Yeah.
At astronomical rates, and we ain't talking about it.
Yeah.
They're not showing it on ABC, CBS, or NBC here in Chicago. They're going to show you all these people who are looting.
Right.
If they spent half the time with our babies being killed. Quit playing. It's Kendall. We back in a moment.
I hold the microphone like a grudge. Feel hold a record so the needle don't budge.
Man, we should let that whole you dig ride.
Yep.
Man, Ed B. Rakim, come on.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, it's the second hour of the Kendall Moore Show. 591-1690, that is the number to connect. Mark, J, John, everybody else. So we're going to get to you in just a second. But listen, let me tell you guys this. Big, major shout. Major shout to Tanya Trice from Slab Barbecue. Miss Tanya, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, they're one of the sponsors here at WVON. When it comes to Slab Barbecue, make sure you check them out. Right now, it's the holiday weekend, whether you celebrate the 4th of July or not. I don't care what's going on.
Yep.
At any time, I want to make sure that you are checking in. Black on. Miss Tanya, big shout, Slab Barbecue. The menu is off the chain.
Off the chain.
And she has dripped the Kendall Moore Show here this evening.
Yes.
And we are
Dripped us.
absolutely... First of all, we're finna hurry up and get to another commercial so we can eat.
Yeah.
But no, big shout, Tanya, Slab Barbecue. Listen, you can check them out at www.slabbarbecue.com. That's SLABBBQ.com. They're located at 1918 East 71st Street. That's Chicago, Illinois. Give them a call, 773-966-5018. Again, Slab Barbecue, 1918 East 71st Street. The number to hit them up at, 773-966-5018. You know it's the holiday and you don't feel like barbecuing, you make sure that you check out Trice's Original Slab Barbecue. Big shout. Thank you so much, Miss Tanya. You know we rocking with you.
It will bless you.
Yep,
It will
yep.
bless you.
Yes, it will.
talk
Big
about
shout.
delicious.
Big shout. All right, 591-1690. Let's go to the phone lines. Hey, let's start with Mark. Mark, how you doing?
Man. You, Kendall, you off the chain. I called there to kind of scold this young lady who I've been on hold ever since she kept saying everything is illegal, right?
Uh-huh.
So I called then, and I've been on hold since then. And man, you went so deep. You down there with the whale. Man, I had this. I'm gonna say it quick though, so I can get it in.
Phil.
Young lady, you in Chicago, so it's a lot of illegal things in Chicago, ma'am. So don't feel like you come from Connecticut, someplace. You're in Chicago. Anything you want in this city, you can get. If somebody take the back wheel off your car, somebody gonna be rolling one up to you in 15 minutes
Yes,
from
they
the
are.
other end. So don't just be scolding everybody. But Kendall, how do we fix something that's how do we deal with it's black pride? But we steady got blacks killing blacks. Since Floyd's death, how many blacks in this city have died at the hands of other blacks?
Yep.
I seen the Facebook picture the other day, a young man standing behind a man, they talking, and the man put a gun out and just shot the man in the back of his head. And he hit the ground. Now, what a coincidence that you're standing in front of a house that had a doggone camera on it.
Yeah.
Instead of you being 2 houses down. You was right there, and we picked you up. They know who they're looking for, but they don't catch nobody.
Yep.
The police force, predominantly white, them guys is taking home $8,000 and $9,000 paychecks twice a month because they doing all this overtime, they making this money, and they ain't catching nobody.
Hey, Mark, let me say this. Don't go nowhere. Let me say this.
Okay.
And I probably should, and I'm probably going to get a memo from Melody and Pierre. Look, Mark, the racist, I like to say racist white police officers, because there's some police officers, they white and they not racist. But do you know that they already put out among themselves that they are not going to be as vigilant in handling black crime? Man, that I'm appalled. And we're not talking about that. Look, Mark, how do police officers say that they not, because of everything that's going on, that they are not about to be as vigilant in stopping crime in the black
Because-
community, man.
Because number one, they're scared of what comes back on them. You know, they're so used to doing something a certain way. You got to be a fool to get chased by the police and you steady running and this and that, and you get caught down some dead end alley. You better catch me in the middle of Halsted on 99th Street.
Man,
you
listen,
know,
I'm
you
plopping
don't catch
down.
me in the backwoods in the alley somewhere and do what you want to do. But my thing is this. If they every time they catching these black folks, these young black guys, these guys are getting a mark put on their record. Now that stops how many black people from wanting to be police officers? That stops a
Yep.
whole lot of them.
Yep.
So that continues to make the white that force predominantly white. Like the
And
firefighters.
what they do is upgrade the charge. That's
Yep,
what
that
they
they
do
do.
to make
So-
it a felon.
Yep.
They
So
automatically,
what you
they
do-
smoke weed. That's a felon. I'm glad they done changed the damn
And
laws.
right. How the heck you gonna get a felony for an ounce of weed? You know, but the old white boy over there got a misdemeanor for a quarter bag of cocaine. You know?
Yeah.
And then my thing is this. Remember what happened in, was it Washington, D.C. years ago? Them two boys, that man and that boy, and that trunk of that car? Remember?
Yeah.
Man, I remember that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you this. I told Cliff this a long time ago. I wouldn't be surprised if, why is it we never catch nobody? I wouldn't be surprised if some people who got them badges like that and got their partners, they got them routes all planned out. They all in that certain clique, put on them black hoodies, put that stuff on their face, and they ride through our hood in them trucks with them tinted windows.
Yep.
And they unload, and then they ride out.
Mark.
Because then the police come after the fact.
Man.
I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Oh,
but I
man.
tell you this much.
It is.
I got that concealed carry. Let me see one of them. I'm lighting up.
Mark, thanks. I appreciate it. Hey,
Okay.
Me and you-
At you, man.
all right,
you
man.
are powerful, man. Keep it going. And I'm going to hear that Farrakhan said, well, I'm going to just wait till tomorrow.
all right. Make sure you tuned. Hey, make sure you tuned in, because I'm gonna definitely be tuned in to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan here at 1690 AM WVON, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Please tune in. To his point, and Jay, I'm coming to you in a second, and then John, I'm coming to you as well. To his point. They're discombobulated right now because some of the black officers, you know, it's a quandary for them.
Yeah, it's two different
So,
police forces.
no, but it's always been two different police forces.
Yeah.
But some of the black ones, you know, they had to go along to get along so they could become
Right.
white shirts.
Right.
They went along so they could become white shirts. See, a lot of people don't know the underlay when it comes to police officers, and I'm not gonna put them on blast.
Right.
Because some of them, again, are my family members, and I get it. Right. So I'm not gonna do that. But what I do know is they trade. Pull me over. Oh, it's Kendall.
Right.
That's my family. Let them go.
Right.
Everybody doesn't have that luxury though.
Exactly.
Everybody doesn't. So when Look Ken get pulled over and he ain't plugged,
Right.
that's the problem right there.
Right.
But anyway, I do not want to digress. Babies are being killed in the streets. Let's go to Jay. Jay, how you doing?
Hi, Kendall. Hi, Kendall, and your guest. And
Yep.
your panel.
Yep.
Hey, I don't have too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we just keep going back. It's like we going back into the days of when in the 90s, you know, when Clinton was in office. We started blaming,
And Clinton was horrible. I just want to say that for the record.
you know, and it just seems like we going back. It seems like we keep going back into that now. You know, it seems like I keep hearing this. You know what I'm saying? Instead of focusing on the people, we don't bring the people, poor black people don't bring drugs in the neighborhoods
Right.
and guns in the neighborhood.
Right.
And then, like I said,
Jay, the Latinos run the drug game in Chicago. Everybody who's listening, so y'all know, the Latinos run the drug game.
Yeah.
That's the plug.
I mean,
just so people know.
They allow them to bring it in, so the people that's over them allow them to bring it in. So you can't really blame. I don't necessarily.
It ain't a blame. I'm just saying if you want to stop it, hell, that's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay. I ain't gonna cut you off no more.
You know, listen, like I said, it's like we going backwards. You starting to blame. We blaming each other for something that basically I think it comes from, like I said, having nuts. you know, you don't have, you know, if you don't have, but like I said, why we just, it's like we just get soundtracked on blaming each other for things,
See,
you know.
Can I challenge you on that, though, Jay? Let me say this.
Jay, stay here. I'm not gonna cut you off. Go ahead.
I consider myself a social political scientist. That's my training, college.
Okay.
Here's the thing. My job is to trace, like contract tracers, where they do trace the virus. My job, like every other analyst's job, is to trace where the source of the problem is. And so we're not going backwards. We're not saying it's those particular people's fault or that in particular, but that's where it started. The prison industrial complex, that bill in 1994, did help to bring along all this havoc. Not to mention the war on drugs. Started first by Richard Nixon, which was really aimed at black
And
people.
then emphasized by Ronald Reagan.
And then they want you to just say no. But then he cut out all the programs. What he did was he lowered the educational standards as far as when in the 80s, if you got an associate's degree, man, you would have been balling, making $40,000 a year. You would have automatically came out. But he lowered those standards on the associate's degree, where then you had to have a bachelor's degree. And now the bachelor's degree has been lowered. So now you have to have an advanced degree. So you got to understand, every time black people get it up and up, it's always something there to set us back further, or you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. We're not necessarily blaming, but we go to the source. The source is that bill, and prior to that bill, it is the drugs that were dropped in our community by Oliver North and all of his and Ronald Reagan.
The Iran-Contra affair.
Exactly.
You know, like all of that.
And then Richard Nixon,
gotta know our
the
history.
war on drugs again. And that's the problem.
And then with Clinton, with the 3 strikes, we cannot let him off the hook.
The 3
That's
strikes.
why Hillary didn't become damn president.
Right.
Black people didn't forget that. Her damn husband got 80% of us locked up right now.
It's people today still suffering from that
Please.
bill, man. I know a guy
know the
played
history.
basketball. I used to play basketball
Jeez.
with. He sold drugs. He's still locked up.
And
3
Clinton,
strikes.
they then they had the nerve to open up a damn office in Harlem, New York.
Yeah.
quit playing.
You know, for what the good Clinton was able to do, because he did have the most black people in his cabinet ever. He had Jesse Jackson, and he had a lot. That's where a lot
The
of them
best thing
came
Clinton
from, but
did,
still.
Will, was the NAFTA agreement.
And that was the worst deal, though.
No. It was the best thing for non-black people.
Right.
White America got rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got rich off of that agreement.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I'm
Jay.
saying, it's like I said, you look at it, you know, like I said, after all that, you know what I'm saying, then, like I said, the laws are set up where if these kids get locked up, they can't get no job.
They can't get no jobs. Exactly. They got to go 7 years.
What are they
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we're saying. Jay, thanks,
Okay,
man.
that's
Man,
you know what I'm saying? We need to work on that then. We need to speak on the things.
Bro, that's what
Speak
we
on
need to
getting
be
these
doing.
kids back. And then you used to be able to go into the service if you had, you know.
Yep.
back in
Don't
the
want
day.
you to do that. It's like
They
it's
don't
like
want
they
you to
pushing
do that.
you into a corner.
Look, and they don't want you to do that. Look, they don't want you to do it when you have a felony, and let me tell you why. Because they know you are capable of killing. They do not want any black person knowing that they know how to kill. Thank you, Jay. Let's go to John. John, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Just wanted to say thank you, WVON, for being the talk of the people, the voice of the people. I have 3 succinct solutions based on logic. The first one, in regards to police brutality, the solution is you need African American police officers policing your neighborhood.
Yep.
There is no blue wall of silence in regards to African American police officers. If they are doing injustice, they are extremely prosecuted in an immediate fashion. That's how you solve 70%. The second, and this is all going to tie together, the second, Black Lives Matter. You are totally correct in regards to the disconnect and what the organization's goal and what the people are marching for. Black Lives Matter is not a movement. The movement are the people in the streets protesting police brutality. However, you have to let this whole situation play out so that you can finally affirm that your rights as a people cannot be co-opted. So let them do whatever they want in the name of an organization and gather all that money. The minute they get off track, the people will march right over them, just like how they're marching now. That is a process that must be finally established by African American people. Number 3, you are going to have to vote amongst each other as a people. African Americans are going to have to vote together amongst themselves. That doesn't eliminate voting amongst the rest of the nationalities that are called American. You have Korean Americans, all these other people. They have their vote in Korea. They have their vote in Brazil. They have their vote in Jamaica. But we are the only people in America with a nationality that has not voted amongst themselves.
Right. We don't vote as a block. We don't move as a unit. That's what you're saying.
Voting blocks, absolutely.
Right.
John, thank you so very much. I appreciate. No. I got to let you go because I got to get to the rest of these callers. But listen, let me say this, Will, and I saw where you were going, and let me say this: the people who we vote into office, so dope, Netta Beretta, and everybody else who's listening to me, they do not fund their own campaigns. I'm going to say this time and time again to all of you. Follow the money. Michael Madigan runs the state of Illinois, which is why Blagojevich went to prison, which is why Quinn did not win re-election. Rauner had a different pot of money. What happened with Ken Duncan when he sided with Rauner, that when we talk about voting blocks, you voting for the money that has backed that candidate. I promise you, any politician that's listening to this show right now, if you fund your own damn campaign, and I'm calling you on it, because I've already put in, and so I probably shouldn't say it, but I did. I put in a Freedom of Information Act because I want to prove a point to the WVON listening audience to see all of the candidates, African-American candidates in the state of Illinois, and who their funders are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them off during one of the shows and talk about every one of them and tell y'all where their money is connected to. Name any one of them. And I'm going to tell you who their biggest contributor to their campaign is. Starting at City Hall and sitting in other places that we think work for us. You don't cut off your nose to spite your face. We ain't smart enough. We've been doing this shit for I don't know how long, and we ain't got enough money. Elsie Higginbottom probably is one of the, he got some money. Who else contributed like major money to campaigns? They may get 2,000, they may give 1,000 or a stack. They don't have like these little small packs. Black people, we don't have that. We don't have the voting blocks. We got somebody who says, you know what, I'm going to run this person against Sandy because I don't like what she did.
Right.
Same thing that they did to Dorothy Tip. Because she was in there clowning, man shout to her, man love to her, and they was like, no, we're gonna run somebody else against because we don't want to deal with this. We're gonna give a little bit more money. Money win campaigns. Please don't make any mistake about that. And it's not the candidate. The candidate is just the face. It's the kingmakers behind that, and the kingmakers are the donors, who don't even have to put their real names on it. But the Freedom of Information Act, it's going to show you where that campaign contribution came from. And then they done made it's so slick that anything over five stacks, you can't do it. Mm-hmm. But if it is up to that, you got to list your name.
Yep.
At the end of the day, we don't own us. But we around here, kumbaya, we walking, we doing all, man, please stop playing with me. That's why so many black people are for themselves. At the end of the day, it's just about the money. And it's about their position. Do you think anybody be listening to Tony Preckwinkle if she wasn't the president of the Cook County Board? Go sit your ass down somewhere. We're not listening to you. You think was anybody listening to Lori Lightfoot before she became mayor?
Right.
They were cussing that woman out because she was part of the police review panel. It's not until they come into that role and that position that they get an ounce of credibility. Because we already know what they're about before they get in there. And that's why so many of our young folks, we you know, it's like, yeah. Took civics out of class. So, you know, people don't understand what civics is. Mm-hmm. We can go round and round and round with this. At the end of the day, we will march when racist white people do what they do to us. We will march against institutional racism. I'd be damned. We don't care when our babies are being killed. I got to get off of this topic. It's the holiday weekend, and you know what? I feel some type of way. We're gonna talk about that in the next hour or so. Will, thank you for entertaining. Or for indulging me. I appreciate that.
No,
hey, listen, we're gonna turn it. We got to get out of this. We got to get out of this because I don't want to go home and my wife got to rub me down like, baby, it's gonna be okay. I got migraines. Listen, if I'm in my early 40s and I've been doing this for the last 20 years, and ain't nothing changed. Nothing. Mm-hmm. We still have not had a black damn fraternal order of police for the city of Chicago.
Yeah. We went back farther. We've lost homes.
We haven't changed a damn thing.
We've lost jobs.
You got them marching on Kim Fox.
Yeah.
We should have had every black person and their mama downtown and in front of the fraternal order police headquarters saying what the F is wrong with y'all? Man, quit playing. Come on, let's turn the page. Hold on. Let's turn the page and talk about something a little silly. All right, it's Kendall Moore Show.
It's WVON's original.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it is the holiday weekend. Whether you celebrate the 4th of July or now you are anti-4th of July or not, COVID-19, it is the time of year now that you may not be able to cook. Make sure that you, and I'm telling you from a personal standpoint, you want to order from Slab Barbecue, 1918 East 71st Street. The number to connect, make sure you call them tonight, though, because I know they're going to be extremely busy tomorrow. The number, 773-966-5018, 773-966-5018. Again, Miss Tanya, thank you for lacing us tonight.
Yep.
Certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Miss Trice.
All right.
Thank you.
So listen, we got Karen, we got Harold, we got Cheryl, we got a number of people who are on the phone line right now. We only could take one because we got to turn the page. Let me go to Karen. Karen, how are you? Welcome to the Kendall Moore Show.
Well, I'm just a wonderful, you awesome young people. Listen, the solution to this is create your own constitution. We, the American descendants of slavery, in order for us to form a better union, ensure our domestic tranquility, provide for our lineage, we need XYZ. Create our own constitution and get someone to adopt it. We keep asking the very ones who tore us up to fix us up, and it's just not going to happen. Also, it's time to know our history. They called our boys gangs that they call themselves fraternities, FOP, the Hamburg Gang, Portillo's. If you go in Portillo's and read the wall, they tell you how many people they murdered and killed.
Church.
And then let's be for real, okay? The people that shooting, there's always been a code among us. No children, no women, and no elders. Now, I'm not trying to say some of our boys are not doing what they're doing because the powers that be are offering all kind of money. But let's really be for real. If they can find a man like Jesse Smollett, you mean to tell me they can't tell you who's shooting?
I feel that. It's
real, baby. Let me say something. There's a book called The Almighty Black Keystone Nation. I think every black person in Chicago needs to read that book because you would understand how powerful Mr. Fort really was. First of all, let me just say this. Anytime they don't allow a man to talk to another man, that's because of the wisdom that man possesses. We need to know our history. They called them gangs, put them in prison, and killed our guys. The white boys and other boys, they called them gangs. They gave them Portillos. They're into politics right now, okay? They're into fraternities. Our guys had to create a gang because of the original white gangs. Let's quit labeling our people and understand the truth behind everything. We gotta know the what in order to see what the why. We great people. We not killers.
Yep.
We're not evil. This stuff is being done by a higher source, baby. And it's time that we know that. Create your own constitution. And guess what else? We're going to have a wonderful weekend. We're going to be safe. Nothing negative is going to happen. Let's start speaking those things out in the universe.
Speak it.
Okay? I love y'all, baby. We're going to have a safe weekend.
Speak it.
Everybody say it and post it. Bye-bye.
All right, speak it. I'm there. I am
have a
there.
safe weekend.
Yep.
That's a good point, though. Speak what you want to see. Your words have power.
And bringing up those points, though, you know, Minister Jeff Fort, like real talk. You know, Larry Hoover. They're trying to keep Hoover. They're trying to move him
Right.
and get him into a regular system. But you know, you got the antis saying don't move him. We need to keep him secluded.
Right.
You know, and we can rattle off, you know, a few other names. I have always prescribed, and I will never retract on things that when they locked the Chiefs up, it went to hell.
Yeah.
Because then they allowed those detectives, and many of them were white. You had some of the non-whites acting with them because it was about money at that time.
Right.
In cahoots. In cahoots with them. I get it. But, you know, what I hear from the callers, real talk, again, is tangible solutions. Tangible solutions. And that's what we don't get. When we get a beacon, like a microphone on WVON, tell these people the truth. And stop pontificating. Stop letting people come on here who, hell, they already got their slot. They're not making it better for anybody else except themselves, and they sound good on the air, and they want to do that. What are the solutions to this? Our babies are dying. The phone lines normally would be lit up.
Right.
Lit up to talk about some BS.
Right.
But ain't nobody gonna call because you know why, Will? You know why? So dope. You know why, Netta? Because they don't live that life no more. They not in the mud. They not in the streets. They can't have that conversation. They can talk from behind a MPH. They can talk behind, you know, their doctorate degree.
Right.
They can't walk down one of our streets or walk down one of the streets and feel intimidated. They're caught in the middle. Because they don't know how to have that conversation. They could talk to us.
Right.
VON has some very intelligent listeners.
Right.
Who are movers and shakers. But it's only so many of us. If all we doing is talking to each other, if all we doing is talking to each other and sounding smart, that's all we doing.
Right.
It's talking to each other and sounding smart. And that's why I say big shout to Diane, the Diane Laddicals. You see what I'm saying? To Father Flager at St. Sabina. To your boy on the west side.
Which one? I got so many.
Ira, brother Ira. What's up, Ira? Ira. You know, I rock with Ira.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
he alright.
Yeah.
He alright. He gonna get that fro together, but he alright.
All right.
But that's what I'm saying though. Because we are all getting older.
Right.
Everybody who I just named are already above 50 plus. Who's next? Who do you have? We talk about generational wealth, right? Hell, if you can't get a job, what type of generational wealth do you have? Hold on, Will. I'm coming to you.
I know.
But if you don't have a job, that means the same people who have money, who are black, are the same people who are going to pass it down to their kids who have money. So you're not going to get outside the box of that. That means that our community will not be healed. If Emil Jones' dad passed it down to his son, right, and then his son passed it down to his son, they're keeping it in the family. If Carrie Alderman, former Alderman Carrie Austin, if she was passing it down to her kids, it wasn't getting outside of that box. That means that they are staying in the same box that people gave them money to be in that box because they didn't get there by themselves.
Right.
First of all, and I'm just using her as an example, it was her husband. She got on because of her husband. Right? So she got on because of her husband. She stayed there, got caught with her hand in the cookie jar, and then now it's over.
Right. Well, she's still alderman.
Yeah. So anyway, we ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
But the point that I am making, though, we need to be focusing on those people who are outside of this box, y'all.
We gotta bridge the gap.
We do.
Yeah.
And we afraid to do it. We're afraid to lose that.
Yeah.
And I have admitted to y'all, I've been in the mud for a little bit. And when I got old enough and I raised my sons, and now my sons who are in their 20s and they're in the mud now I can go back to them and say, what you doing? Or go back in and check in with them. But if we don't have people who can go outside their box, everybody is focused on their household, especially with this COVID-19. And that's why you got politicians hijacking the protests. And the protests are winding down now, and they ain't got nothing else better to do. They ain't gonna have nothing else better to do now.
Right. Yeah.
Because the protests are winding down. Now you got Jay-Z, now you got Beyonce. Yep. Now they're doing it from a digital or from a, everybody's doing Zoom now.
Yep.
Zoom is cutting budgets in half. Where we would have to spend $10,000 on, Zoom, I would spend $200 on.
Right.
Zoom is free.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to send you the link, and everybody can log on to this.
Yeah.
And I ain't got to touch you. Damn, does it make sense, y'all? I'm sorry. I told you I was trying to turn the page. We was getting to, but we got to take some of these calls now.
I mean, let's
take the board is lit up.
Yeah. Let's go to Harold. Harold, how you doing?
Good evening, Kendall Moore.
Brother Harold, how are you, sir?
How are you, Kendall Moore?
Peace and blessings to you.
Are you a Scorpio?
Of course I am.
I'm close to 80, and I've been out here 40 years battling this battle. Now, let me set it out for you so you understand. You right to the point. You was right on the point earlier in the conversation. I'm going to bring up three names. Jack Lavin, Mayor Daley's daughter, Mayor Richard M. Bixby's daughter, and Tim Degnan, his right-hand political ally, son, run Navy Pier Inc. Did you hear me?
I hear you.
They just got $2.5 million. They just received $2.5 million in stimulus money to indemnify their salaries.
Mm.
You know about the legislation for McCormick Place? For the casino? They're already planning to put it in McCormick Place, controlled by the White Irish.
Yeah, I saw it got passed the other day. And Harold, you know I know your work. You know I know your work. Yep.
Let me break it down. The same buck-dancing, shuffling, self-serving Negro Democratic machine politician, black, go along with the political game and they accept consciously the Negro share that is murdering, currently broken down after 40 years of murdering our kids on the streets of Chicago. And they will still accept the Negro share. Now, last Sunday, a young writer named Clarence Woodhouse Jr. expressed himself in a 2-page thesis of what it's like to be a black male in the city of Chicago. And I'm watching on YouTube for the last 10 years a blood-oath battle between the sons of the people who grew up in Parkway Gardens and the sons of the people who grew up in West Woodlawn in a blood-oath murder, mayhem, killing spree to clear the real estate to make it safe for them to give the Obama Presidential Center $800 million in Illinois General Assembly funds for that presidential center, and Obama got the nerve as a community organizer not to sign a community benefit agreement, and the white folks is flooding it to East Woodlawn, where as a kid, I'm telling you, as a child, I survived the beginnings of the Blackstone Rangers and the Gangster Disciples, started by University of Chicago, Anthony Downs, face of deconcentration. The plan is to remove 3 out of 4, both with moderate income African Americans, to make it safe for Caucasians to reenact the real estate around the University of Chicago, and then not beyond. Bringing in wetback Mexican drug dealing thugs to take the real estate, pushing them from the west, from the 13th and the 14th and 25th ward, with the drug economy into the black community, buying up what's left of a middle class housing that has been destroyed in the last 20 years.
Bro, Harold,
Do I need to say anymore?
Man, listen, you already know I know. I appreciate that call. Listen, I got to take a break right now, and I'm gonna get to everybody else. We got a bank full of calls. I guess we're gonna talk about Jada and them.
We'll talk about them at the end of the show. We'll get to them,
Brother Harold. But before we all right, I got to take a break.
It's WVON.
The main ingredients in all of this: God and prayer and faith. Read your Bible. How you think Dr. King was so successful? He said, we got to pray before we do. We can't do this by ourselves. That devil too strong. We don't have what God have to do what we're doing. We'll never make it. We won't succeed. You got to put God in it, honey. It works. Pray in the home. Hold your family hands and read the Bible. Nobody can anybody know the books of the Bible? No.
No, Miss Mary.
I'm just saying, baby.
Okay,
listen.
yes, ma'am.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm almost 80 years old. Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
You got to put prayer every day in your life. Start with you. Start in your family. When we took prayer out of homes, that was the biggest mistake of our life. We're brilliant people, but we cannot do this stuff, everything we're supposed to do without God. It won't work. That's why we're catching hell. It works. God is, honey. Play some religious music sometime. All of y'all on VON. It's healing. It's healing. Do what I'm telling you to do. Granny know what she's talking about. We love y'all. I'm proud of you. You're brilliant. You all got to stay. I agree with everything y'all said. But you got to pray every day. When you get in your house, pray. Come out your house and pray before you get in your car. You don't know what you're going to run into. You cannot do it, and you will not win. We will not win without God, I'm telling you. Telling you, baby. I love y'all. God bless y'all. And keep God in you, in your homes, especially. We used to pray in the home, the school, the church, down the street, everything. That's why we were successful. Pray, baby. Pray, baby. I love y'all, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Miss Mary. Let's go to Makiba. Makiba, how are you? Welcome to the Kendall Moore Show.
Good evening. Thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to I would like for us to look at re-imaging the police department. In the state of Illinois, there's a little more than 400 different police departments. Those are public police agencies, and then we have the private security agencies. And there are approximately, I think it's something like 4,000 actual police officers. So let's kind of expand our thinking. The best security that I have seen in my 71 years of living here in Chicago was at Chatham Village, which is located between 83rd and 85th Street and between Cottage Grove and St. Lawrence. And they had a terrible, about 20, 30 years ago, long before your time, they had a terrible drug problem. And somehow or other, they called in the fruit of Islam from black Muslims to come in and provide security. They cleaned up that drug problem in less than 2 weeks. They did not carry guns, sticks, mace, or anything like that. They wore their suits, shined shoes, and they had the respect, and people believed them. Then they went to a housing project a little north of Midway Airport, cleaned that up. We need each community, in my opinion, each community needs to have the option to say who they would like, what kind of security they would like to provide security in their communities. And they should have the funding to provide that. Now, that's something we can look at in re-imaging our police departments. There are 25 police districts in Chicago, and each district should be able to identify and state what kind of security, what kind of policing, and who they would like to police their communities, and have the funding to bring that into effect. So you asking about some definite ideas. That's something that I've been thinking about that we could really implement.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. McKeever, thank you so very much. All right. All right, folks, as we get ready to wind down, we certainly appreciate all of you guys who participated in the last segment. When we return, it's the Lit Roundtable featuring Netta and Sandy and Will and I. We got a number of things to continue to discuss. 591-1690, that is the number to connect. I'm telling you, it's so sombering.
Yeah.
You know, when you really have those conversations, and it's not the Everglade that everybody else is saying all the damn time.
Yeah.
That's why we are the original Friday night show here at WVON. And that's real talk. All right, folks, got to go. We take a break. We come back, Lit Roundtable, and it's open to the public.
The talk of Chicago
It is this weekend. Everybody's asking me, are you going to barbecue? I might do a little barbecuing at the house, but I'm going to be cutting grass and plumbing. So that's what.
Thank you for that. I appreciate the information.
we
needed to know that so
doing
much.
some plumbing.
But what we really need to know is that Miss Tanya Trice hooked us up.
Okay.
Slab Barbecue. Their website, www.slabbbq.com. That is SLABBBQ.com. And I want to tell you, this food is off the chain.
Yes.
I'm one of those people that needs sauce on my food.
Okay.
I don't care how good your steak is, how good you season that lamb chop. I'm dipping it in something.
The sauce got to be
Yes.
right.
The restaurants,
This barbecue sauce
give you the
is
evil eye.
just like indescribable. It's so delicious. They are at 1918 East 71st Street in Chicago. Phone number 773-966-5018. 773-966-5018. You need to go check them out. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't go taste this barbecue, because it's delicious. And I love to eat, so I wouldn't lie to you. I'm not going to send you off.
Right. We would not do that to you.
Yes. Thank you so much for making sure you hooked up the Kendall Moore Show. We really enjoyed the food. So now we are shifting into this conversation we've been trying to get to, but we had to get some things off our chest. So I'm glad we extended that other conversation. But in the news right now, trending is Jada Pinkett and August Alsina.
Okay.
Now, the premise of the story is not new. You know, people have multifaceted relationships all the time.
Right.
I'm really curious as to why this one caught on. What do you think, Sandy? Why do you think this one is so important to everybody right now?
Well, that might be for a few different reasons. Because, of course, we've heard speculations before about, Will and Jada, how their relationship works, how their life partnership is, and, what all that means. Which I think, speculation, like, they're not going to be able to get away from that. This whole thing with Jada and August, there have been some murmurings about them before, about their relationship. I think now it's timely. He has new music. He's got a new docuseries that's on YouTube, which is actually really phenomenal. And he just did this interview with Angela Yee. And so with the comments about his love life and dating, that's what kind of sparked this whole conversation this week.
We all know Angela Yee is messy anyway. Like, she does not mind asking the questions that people don't. To me, yes, that's messy.
I think
but she's really good at getting information out of people that the public wants to hear about. So it's uncomfortable. It's private, but she's gonna ask anyway.
Okay.
So.
And people like messy.
They
and so
love
that's
messy.
why, you asked, why now, why this conversation? Because people want to latch on to the sound bites. They want to latch on to what's hot. he said a lot of things in that interview. He has a 5-part docuseries, which is very profound, that you can go and watch and get all types of information about this young man. But you want to focus in on this piece that's actually quite speculative.
Because that's the juicy
Because it's
part.
messy. Because it's
Sandy,
juicy.
Sandy,
Because
Sandy.
it's juicy and it's messy.
Netta.
What, Will?
Come on. I think he lying. He lying. I'm a man.
I know. You think it's locker room talk.
He's just simply doing locker room insinuations.
First of all,
his album is about to be released. Then you talk about he doing the docuseries. He's got to build some mystique around what he's doing. And I'm pretty sure he is probably friends with Will and Jada, but probably not in the way that he's kind of distancing himself off to say, I don't believe him at all. I think that it's all a publicity stunt. I think he needs to sell albums, and he's going out here just to get you to sell an album.
You know they say no publicity is bad publicity,
Exactly.
right?
And like you just said, we like to listen to stuff like that.
But he also claims that he is really big on integrity, and he doesn't like to have his character challenged. So to say things like that while you're lying, I don't know if I necessarily think he's lying.
Say that lie.
And is it possible that they did have some type of intimate relationship? And I'm not even saying it was sex, but they have an intimate friendship, and she could have done things that made him believe that it was more than what it was. Or he could have read into it.
What could she have done to him, Sandy?
Spending time. It could have been things she said, things that she
say
did.
To him? What?
Any number of things.
Yes.
Any number of things that leads you to believe that this person cares about you on a deeper level.
Oh, so we did the things that men do to women all the time.
To say, we see it in reverse all the time.
Yeah,
we
but
see
you
it in
know what?
reverse
It
all the
sounds
time.
exactly to me like what women do to men all the time as well. So I'm just saying.
Will, who hurt you?
Nobody hurt me. Now, why somebody got to hurt me when I say the exact same thing you said? Come on now, that's not fair.
Because the first thing out your mouth is he's lying.
I don't think he's telling the truth, man. I'm sorry. Look, I have to use my higher intellect. I don't get caught up in the spin. Because the way he answered the question, he could have simply said yes or no.
He went deep, didn't he?
And that's like guys in the locker room. Hey man, did you do anything with her? And then you don't tell them yes. But you say something, you spin it. So what are we gonna think? We automatically think, yeah, man, you did it, and then you don't say anything. And the girl feels like crap later because everybody is looking at her like, oh man, she easy and all this. I had some friends like that used to do stuff like that, but I don't think he's telling the truth. I'll challenge him on it. Everybody.
It could have been a case of unrequited love. He could have caught feelings.
True.
Those feelings might not have been returned. And that's the thing.
Will
Everything
gave him
is
his
so
blessing.
speculative. Like we can go round and round. We don't know.
Will, your face.
We don't know.
Yes, he probably. Look, I'm gonna leave it alone, man.
There's a couple parts to that. So go ahead, Sandy. Finish your thought.
So even if there is an ounce of truth to it, so if we say, okay, where there's smoke, there's fire. So whether or not to say he's completely lying, or if they had some type of intimate relationship. Something is like there's something. We don't know how much of it is there, but there's something to this story. But to that point, in watching his documentary, he seems like a very intelligent young man, but also a very vulnerable and fragile young man. Had a very hard life growing up, dealt with a lot of things, dealing with anxiety, rough relationship with his parents, like all these things that make up who he is, right? So you take a young man like that who is vulnerable, fragile, maybe kind of wears his heart on his sleeves, and now you put him in proximity to a woman who might be showing interest, and it might not be romantic interest, but just taking an interest in his life, who he is, his career. He's highly impressionable. And if you're being impressed by somebody like a Jada Pinkett-Smith, this very, worldly, Renaissance, amazing woman, you're easily, you're just easily,
she all right, but
you're
no shade on
easily
Jada. I like
brought
Jada.
into that. Like I just feel like he was a very open Maybe that's the word. Just a very open young man.
So to that point, it could go either way because they haven't answered it yet. Not directly.
Actually, Jada said
she says it's completely false.
Right,
and she said she said there's a lot of healing that has to happen. She's going to bring herself to the red table.
Okay.
It's quite possible, like you said, it's unrequited love. Mm-hmm. Maybe he had an instance of fantasy. Maybe in his mind, he was courting her on some levels. Right. So all these times that they were hanging out, he's thinking that it's a deeper relationship than it actually is. And Will gave me his blessing.
Right. Like that, that part.
I just kind of feel like if Will and Jada do have an open relationship, August Alsina's not the type of person that they would invite into their
that's the thing,
situation.
But everybody's different because I can't judge.
That's not a judgment. That's not logical.
Right. But I think women, because he's a guy, and if, if you're a heterosexual woman, me as a heterosexual man, I'm not going to judge another guy. I would say, he don't look like this. He don't look. I don't think that's
it's okay
right.
for you to say man is handsome or
but
not.
But you know what I'm saying.
It's okay.
Oh, why she with him? He ain't nobody. I just think, okay, if that's her, if she likes him,
right,
it's okay. But I think he's exaggerating the truth. I think it's more. I think maybe she's counseling him, but not in the way we think he counseling. And I think it's spin. I think I know they went on trips and stuff together, but that's not to say that Will was not there. Who was taking the pictures on the boat?
Right.
Paparazzi wasn't on the boat.
So then does it go back to his point that he had his blessing?
He had his blessing, but what kind of blessing? That's the point I'm making.
Right.
Right.
I'm sorry.
So in the interview, there were two things that he said that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, right?
Okay.
It didn't make sense. So this starts to bring up questions and poke holes in his story.
Okay.
He says, first of all, that he's not a troublemaker. And he doesn't like drama. So he says drama actually makes me nauseous. So you're not a troublemaker and you don't like drama, but in your music video you had an instance where you're communicating with a young lady via text and her name is Jada's middle name.
Yeah.
But you don't like drama.
Right.
But you brought drama to yourself in that instance. And then the other part of that is, okay, the question was brought up. Why did you have to go into so much detail as opposed to, like you said, Will, just answering the question? So do you like drama or do you not like drama? Because it seemed like you brought a whole lot more attention to the situation than was necessary.
Because even if I said yes, if it was me and I said yes, the person can still just come out and deny it.
Right.
Insinuating that something happened between you. I think that's not fair.
Or he could have just said, I don't want to talk about our relationship.
Right. So I challenge August Alsina on that. I don't believe that he had an affair with her. I don't believe that Will gave him his blessing like that. I think Will probably won't break his neck, and that's why he ain't saying nothing right now. He's just going to be quiet, because whether he says yes or it's true or even no, it's not true, we're probably going to believe what we're going to believe anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's been rumors going around about Will for quite some time now. We know what that is. They said him and Dwayne Martin was because they good friends.
Again, rumors.
Those was rumors.
But,
you know what I mean?
So none of this is concrete. We can't draw any conclusions based on any of this.
And you know where this all stems from?
What?
When he did that movie, he did that movie with the Stockard Channing, that actress. He played the gay young man. What was that, 360 Degrees or
I'm not sure.
something like that? I forget the name of that movie. And he played a young gay man, and he did a kissing scene. All of a sudden, everybody's saying Will Smith gay.
Which is such a problem because he's acting. Can the man act?
It's so ridiculous.
And as an actor, that's what you do. I mean, if you choose to take that part and you commit to that part, and you get paid, you do it.
And he's been able to go on beyond that movie and be extremely successful. But the people, especially in the black community, came at him like, all the rumors, he's gay, this and that, and it's like he's an actor.
And especially, there's so many openly gay actors today. There's even some transgender actors now. They're actresses, and I mean, why would you keep that a secret now?
Why do you care though? That's the part. That's the part about this whole conversation. Whenever it comes up, that bugs the heck out of me. Why do you care? You have your own set of personal beliefs and values, what you will do and what you won't do, who you will and won't do it with.
Right.
Why do you care what somebody else is doing in their bedroom so much?
Right.
That's none of your business.
I agree.
So, bringing that back to the topic at hand, why do we care if they had a three-way relationship? If they allowed him to have indecent proposal with Jada, like, who cares?
It's just spicy, and you know your audience. So
Exactly.
you know what
people
like.
want the tea.
Yeah.
They want the tea.
So the other thing that he said was that he doesn't
3 degrees of separation, Will.
for people to know what he does. But then in the same breath, he's telling all this business.
Yeah. I mean, he gonna sell albums, man.
Yeah.
But you know that what was the movie? It was 3 degrees of separation.
3 degrees.
I think it was
Okay.
6 degrees.
6 degrees of separation.
Okay.
That was the movie where Will Smith played young gay. I think it was based on a stage play, actually. I don't know if it was real, but it was based on a stage play. Yeah. So, I agree with you 100%. I just don't, I hear stuff like that in the media all the time, and that's what I do. I watch television. I sometimes decide, is it logical to do that? And I just, I'm not going to drink that Kool-Aid.
But people, they share their truth in their own time. So even if there's some truth about, him having a relationship with Jada, that might not even come out for a long while. Like, I'm just thinking about the brat. And she's been in this relationship with a woman. I think they just celebrated like a 1-year anniversary of them officially being together. Now, all these years that the brat has been out, she's never confirmed her sexuality, never talked about it.
Right.
Of course, people always speculated, but she never came out and just said, I date women, I'm attracted to women. Right. But fast forward, 20 years, and now she's living in her truth. Mm-hmm. So it's like, there can be truth swirling in this situation, but we may not even find out until down the line.
I don't think anybody ever questioned the
and that's the thing.
sexuality,
And that's
like,
the thing.
ever.
It's like it wasn't a surprise to us, but it's just the fact that she never concrete said the truth. And why should she have to? Right.
Exactly.
Why should she have to?
Well, I mean, it's because times have changed. The brat is like when she first came. First of all, shout out to my sister because she's from the West Side.
West Side.
I know she used
straight
to live
from the
over area.
606.
That's right. That's right. So I'm like, when she first came out, things were a little different. The way people thought was a little different. Now it's a little bit more accepted now. So maybe she did have a time with that, accepting who she was at that time, but she's always been a cutie pie, though. You a cutie pie,
Oh my
girl.
goodness! So then maybe it's because of stop it. First of all, Will, dump that.
Right,
but so with that, maybe it is the relationship that she's in right now. That this relationship means something to her, and her partner maybe felt like she was being hidden, or there's the elephant in the room that needs to be addressed.
Or you just want to live in your truth and be free and be happy, because there's a lot of miserable people out here in heterosexual relationships. So if she is happy in her relationship with this woman, why can't she just be happy and F everybody else? That's probably where she's at right now.
Yep. Well, I want to say something about that ladies' night video, but it would be inappropriate. But like I said, Brad, look.
No, don't say it again.
No.
Look, stop it.
No.
Somebody turn Will's mic off.
Right.
We don't need to hear that.
Girl.
So, is it okay to have an open relationship?
It's up to the people who have to make that decision. I mean,
that is such a cop-out answer. I'm asking you. Yes, I'm asking you.
I mean, I don't prefer it right now. I think you can get in trouble with it. I think, in an open relationship, somebody's a little bit more open than the next person. You know what I'm saying? I just cannot see human nature not being competitive in that. You know what I'm saying?
I think the main thing that needs to be open in an open relationship is the communication. You have to constantly be in communication with each other so that the other person doesn't feel like they're being sidestepped with the side piece.
Well, I'm pretty sure there is a communication with each other when they're being open. But I'm just saying, I think it brings on problems. I remember reading about this some years ago with a psychologist, and he says these type of situations very rarely last very long when you go that route. You know what I mean? Because you bring another person into a relationship, and I don't know anything about this, but I'm just saying what I've read, what I've heard. You bring another person to this relationship, somebody's feelings generally get hurt because that new person into that relationship, because it's bringing another person into the relationship. That new person might take over one of that other person's, or whoever that other person's is, take over their place, take their place.
And yet,
then you'll be put out, and then they're gonna bring another person into the situation.
And yet, Will and Jada have been together for like 20 years.
Yeah, but we don't know what's going on
because
with
they
that.
communicate and they have
Yes.
an understanding of how they want
And
their
I think,
relationship.
but the
to
most beautiful thing that I think that they have shared about their relationship is they decided they are life partners. I think that there's too much weight placed on the marriage. You're my husband now, you're my wife now. That's how many relationships go to crap after they get married, because you put all of these invisible and unrealistic expectations on a person just because you're married now. You haven't committed to the person, you've committed to the ceremony
the
or
of
exactly
what they're necessarily supposed to do, and they don't change with the times.
I don't think people understand what it means to be committed to a person for the rest of your life. So I think they have that part figured out. All the other things that we don't agree with, then that's just, so don't run your relationship that way. But they're still together.
They found what works
are
for
they
them.
really in an open relationship?
I don't know.
Are
Have they said?
We don't know.
We're simply assuming that they're in
And
an
that's
open
what I'm saying. This
relationship.
whole conversation is speculation.
Yeah. I mean,
It's all
everybody,
speculation.
I've heard everybody say this for years. They're in an open relationship, but I've not seen anything that, I just hear people write things, and you know, if there's
Or
no
you hear
pictures,
things,
it
but you
didn't
think
happen.
it's locker room talk, and you think people are
Right,
lying.
exactly.
Well, like I said, when you're insinuating something, you know what I'm saying, you can simply say yes or no. You know, like I said, politics, I know when you lie. You tell a speech, I'm like, you lying.
So you the human lie detector test. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
You
I can
automatically
tell.
know.
You lying.
Have you ever had an open relationship, Will?
No, I
you
haven't.
lying.
No, I haven't. Let's see.
Or
no, I haven't.
You maybe have never had a voluntary open relationship.
A voluntary open relationship.
Probably got cheated on.
Yeah. Hey, man.
I happen to think all men cheat, and I get challenged on that every time I say it. People get so mad.
Well, who hurt you?
But it's some people
You think all men.
I think all men cheat. I just think it's something that
And all
is-
women don't cheat.
That's not something that I'm arguing at this point. What I'm
Okay.
saying is all men cheat.
Charlemagne says black men don't cheat.
Black men don't cheat.
Charlemagne
I'm with
also wears
Charlemagne.
eyeliner. So.
Oh.
That don't mean nothing. That don't mean man got a right to want to look his best. That's all.
I mean, it does bring out the eye. I mean,
There we
Pharrell
go. It was
wears
popping.
eyeliner.
His pupils be popping. But
popping.
no, I really do think that all men cheat. So if you bring somebody into a relationship and everybody knows about it, that's better than having a side piece and feelings getting hurt.
But see, Netta, don't you think you're setting yourself up for your man to cheat when you think like that?
No, I'm setting myself up to not be surprised if it happens.
Yeah,
Because
but-
I already believe that that's what's going to happen.
But right, if you're living with that belief,
I mean, everything relates to each other. It's all cyclical, so
So
it's
you
quite
think all
possible.
men cheat? You
I
don't
really
think
do.
that you're that fabulous that a
No,
man
I
would
really,
just
I
say,
don't think that
hey,
it's. I think that it has to be literally an act of God for a man to keep his loins to himself. I just do not think that men are
So
wired
you don't
that
think
way.
no man would say to you, "No, Netta's so fine. That's my wife."
but no,
Yeah, he'll
because
say it
it's,
to
never,
my-
it's not
he'll say it to
about
my face.
wife.
It's never
I
about the
love my
woman.
wife.
She could be fine. She could cook. She could clean. She could raise the kids. It's not about the woman. It is about that man.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. What that man is thinking to himself is like, man, I love my wife. My wife is fine. My wife is this. No, I will not cheat on her.
That would be
that's what
that
I'm
would be
saying.
wonderful.
You
I
don't
just
think
don't
that
think
you're that
that's,
valuable?
No,
You
I don't.
think-
That's not. Don't twist it.
I'm
Right.
not twisting
I
it.
didn't
It's not
say
about the
that.
man.
It's
It's him. It's not about her.
But
It's
how's
him.
it him? If you're look, only you know you, right?
I think I'm fabulous.
Okay, there you go. What about you, Sandy? Are you fabulous?
But I don't care
Excellent.
how
That doesn't
fabulous
have
I
any-
am.
Only
It
you
doesn't
know
mean
you.
that I can be the most perfect person in the history of humankind. That's not going to make a man be faithful.
Right.
A man
What's
has to
gonna
be
make a man
faithful.
be faithful?
The only thing that
Because
makes a
he
man be
wants to.
faithful is a man wanting to be faithful. But
Okay.
I just do not think that men are capable.
Oh wow. I don't know what to
So
say.
you
about
can disagree.
Nella.
That's fine. That's just a belief that I have.
Nella, I'm sorry.
And
I
I'm not
apologize.
mad about it.
To all the men out there in the WVON family, please call Nella and you know.
Don't try to
console her.
I don't need consolation.
All men.
I really don't. I'm not mad about it.
Okay.
I just believe that.
Okay.
So then how does that work in a relationship if you're going into a relationship with that belief? So you just expect that person to cheat on
I
you?
absolutely expect every man to cheat.
Okay.
On every woman on this planet.
So here's my take on it. Okay, people have the propensity. Everyone has propensity to cheat, and I feel this way. Whoever I'm with, if she decides she cheats, okay, you cheat, but I'm gone. You know,
right?
And you know what I'm saying.
That's a
I
decision
don't
you have to
care if we
make.
got the house or whatever. You know, that's how I feel. You know, unless you have a really good explanation.
I haven't said what I felt about
but
them
I don't,
cheating.
But I'm not going. You know, I've told all my past girlfriends this or whatever. Look, I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to run after you. I'm not going to be spying on you to try and see. Look, it's just what it is. I catch you. You know. You don't got no good explanation. You don't want to be with me.
Curtains for you. It's
over.
over.
Well, it ain't curtains for her. It ain't curtains.
It's curtains
just
for the relationship.
If you don't want to,
Right.
you know, you don't want to be with me. Hey, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go ahead about my business. You know, and yes, I've been cheated on. I think a lot of people, everybody has been cheated on once. But I'm just saying, it has to be in you to say no, that you have more value.
The plot thickens, though. I've never been cheated on, to my knowledge.
You've never been cheated on.
To my
your
knowledge, I've never been cheated on. That's just a belief that I have. That's just Will. How many times I gotta
To
say
her
it?
knowledge.
That's the belief that I have, that all men cheat. Just because I don't know about it, that means he was really good at cheating.
Oh God!
And if you're gonna cheat, that's the way you should do
so
it.
every man's a suspect. then,
Every
yeah?
single one of them.
Oh my God!
I don't. I
Guilty
won't hold it
until
against
proven
you.
innocent.
I won't hold it against you, but you know that's just what I feel.
All right.
I think. I think Brian got something to say about that. He gonna be upset. All right, Brian, what you got to say?
Good evening. Good evening. How everybody doing?
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
What's up, Brian?
I feel sorry for the young lady who say she think all men cheat. That's telling me a little something about her life experiences.
No, it's
for
not.
Me to say that for me to say all women do a certain things, I have to experience that. I don't know if you saw with your mother, your upbringing, but to me, that's a little something about your life experience. Then you got to realize something. If I'm attracted to certain thing in life, I got to look in the mirror and look at me. We don't want to admit that. If I got a lot of honey, if I got a lot of bees around me, I got to have some honey on me that's drawing there. It's my fault to a certain extent, but thanks for hearing me.
All right, Brian. Thank you for that. I'm going to repeat myself. I've never been cheated on, to my knowledge, so it's not a reflection on my life.
Okay. No,
it's just people have core beliefs, and
all right. Well,
it's just one of mine.
You know, like I said, black men don't cheat. So
Oh
we
Lord.
really don't. Well, Charlamagne was right.
It's a lot of different dimensions to cheating. First of all, it doesn't have to be actually having sex with somebody. And then the second thing is, I never said what I would do if it happened. That's a whole other conversation for a whole other show. But
so, what are the other dimensions to cheating?
and then I just say that's a whole other conversation for a whole other show. But I mean,
What you
Like
mean, cheating with your
emotional,
mind?
right? Yes,
I mean,
With
if
your
you-
emotional,
right.
This
emotional.
my coworker. I think I'm in love with my coworker.
Yeah, you take it back to the Bible. If you thought about doing it, it's just as bad
Come
as
on,
doing
man.
it.
That's
there's
just so I don't believe in
you
that.
can plot on certain things. Just because you never acted on it doesn't mean that you didn't want
I
to do
do
it.
not
You're gonna
believe
go
in
through
that.
all the motions, texting, hanging out, going on dates, or meeting
Going
for
on
lunch.
dates?
Meeting
Right,
for
meeting
lunch. You're
for
not gonna call it a
lunch.
date. How is that not the same thing?
Okay, but I don't get it. Is he paying the car note and the house,
What?
the rent?
So
or-
it's okay if he pays the car note and the house and
But
the rent?
no, I'm not saying that's okay. What I'm saying is, you're saying because the coworker or whatever, they go to dinner, they go to lunch,
And they hang out and they text.
Well,
and
they
they
hang out,
talk
but
on
he's
the
not
phone.
hanging out with.
Y'all
his
know
wife.
I don't normally jump in here, right?
Yeah, go ahead, Dale.
But this is the thing I'm going to say.
Yes.
Every man who spends emotional time with a woman that is not his, that has a woman at home, then you are cheating.
Can I get an applause on the?
It's
you have an
emotional.
applause
It's
button?
more than physical. It's
Yes,
emotional
it's the
time.
emotional time.
It's the emotional time that you spend. So if you're doing that with her and you're not doing it with yours, then that is the definition of cheating.
And
Okay.
a lot of times, thank you for
Snaps
that.
up for
and a
that.
lot of times, that's what triggers a woman more than you having sex with somebody
right.
else.
Because now there's a connection. There's
Absolutely.
something deeper.
But I can understand that. But I'm just saying, if it's a coworker at work and y'all go to lunch together every day.
No, why would
No,
you go to
all
lunch
the
together
other
every day
things.
with
Y'all
with
just
the
go
same
on lunch.
coworker every
All
day?
the other things.
Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah, because you make those connections with your coworkers.
And you're making a
sometimes.
deeper connection if you're going to lunch with the same person
You
every
make
day.
it sound so dirty.
That is so.
Alice.
Why would you
Again,
go
you're
to
missing the point. I'm
Right.
saying the things that you do with her that you don't do with yours.
If I'm at work, I can't go to lunch
No,
with
but
my
if,
wife.
what I'm saying is you can go to lunch with your wife, but if you're doing more with her
Right.
at work than you are doing with yours at home,
Right.
that is the
Okay.
very definition of cheating.
Okay, I got you.
And
I
I'm
got
just
you.
saying that because that was me.
So
Thank you,
go,
Dale.
Go lunch with the
Appreciate
the,
it.
the side piece co-worker, but you don't go lunch with your wife when you get home. You don't go to dinner
And
with
you
your
telling your coworker all your secrets,
All
and you
of 'em.
helping her shop and pick
All
out
of
clothes,
'em.
and y'all spending time.
wife. Well, yeah, that is cheating. Yeah,
Okay,
he's
so thank
gonna-
you. Welcome
he's
to the
gonna
light.
Get down to that. He'll probably eventually get to the
All
other
right,
business.
Carl, what you got to say about this topic?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well,
Good evening.
it's going to be very controversial. Let me
You
just say
sound
this.
guilty already, Carl. You sound
Well,
guilty
I've
already.
been guilty. Ain't no doubt about it.
He owning up to it.
Look, first of all, if you were hungry and you need something to eat, and there was no food in your ice box, and you went to go get something to eat somewhere else, is that cheating, or is that getting something to eat? And so the thing about it is, I think we need to change the language. I think there are times where people aren't getting their needs fulfilled. Period. People get into the routine of doing them, and what happens is that other people see your needs and they start meeting your needs wherever they are, and people make connections. And I think what Jada Smith, bringing it back to your original conversation, what Jada Pinkett-Smith and Will did, they decided to dissolve their traditional marriage because they realized that their concept of what marriage wasn't working.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of marriages like that work. I think we need to change marriage anyway. I think it should be like a sports contract, like an NBA contract. It should be renewable. If you ain't performing, you get cut. If I ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or if you ain't doing what you do, we get cut. Or we need to renegotiate. We need to renegotiate what those. Look, the marriage thing hasn't been relooked at. What 200, 300, 100 years, 200 years? When the last time we took a real good look at what marriage is to death do us part? I mean, women don't even like to mouth that, to death do us part. What does that mean? No, we can't get out unless we die? That's not what y'all saying. If things get tough, if the road gets tough, people get to moving. And we need to be honest about that.
I appreciate that, and I got something to say about that. I really appreciate your comment. Jerry, want to get to you, but we're going to go and take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with the Kendall Moore Show.
Ascertain around each other, it gets taken away from you because there's no legally binding contract.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, that sounds like a terrible arrangement. So you get to go out and do whatever you want with whoever, and I get stuck with the business then.
No, what
You
I'm
die.
saying is that's the agreement y'all come upon, and y'all both do the same thing.
So you both go out and do what you want to do.
Yeah,
So
that's what we say
literally a
Will and
business
Jada
arrangement.
doing. It's not a business arrangement. You just got couples out here like that.
No, I'm saying the marriage part is a business arrangement.
It's contractually, because think about it.
So I just wanted to speak to the previous caller's point. He said if you have something at home and then you go and get somewhere else, is that cheating? Absolutely, it's cheating. If I went grocery shopping and I spent all this money on groceries and I got that at the house and I'm still constantly going out to the fast food joint,
right,
I'm cheating on my budget. It's what the agreement was. That's what makes it cheating. So bringing it back to Will and Jada so that I can now push it into the next conversation with these barbecues coming up. If they agreed on it, why? That's fine. It's not cheating if they agreed on it.
Right.
Per the terms of their relationship. So just because you think that you are a one-woman man.
Who, me?
Will and Jada.
I didn't say that.
He said he didn't say that. You said
I
you
didn't
don't
say
cheat.
that. No, I don't
He said you don't cheat.
I
So when
don't
you're in a
cheat.
relationship, you're a one-woman man.
Well, I mean, I don't cheat because I choose
Well,
not to cheat.
right. So just because you decided that doesn't mean that they have to be bound to the constructs of your value system. So then
I guess
in
you
their
got a point there,
relationship,
yes.
it's not cheating. So
in their mind, that's what you're saying.
no, in their relationship, not just in their mind.
Okay.
The way they
I
have
feel
their situation set up, it's okay. The problem is when you bring people into it who aren't on board with the arrangement
Right.
or want more from the arrangement,
Right.
and now it becomes a tabloid headline.
Okay.
All right. So
I did that for you.
now we got these barbecues coming up this weekend. I know a lot of people aren't rocking with the 4th of July. Look, they have, what do they say? What are the restrictions? 50 people and be outside.
Yeah.
Maximum
Maximum
distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, wearing masks and all that.
You're going to start seeing a lot of distant cousins that's looking real good to you.
Out the barbecue.
Is it
So
okay
hot.
to bring family members into your relationship?
To bring family members
Into your relationship? Like,
I got a 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th cousin at this barbecue. I'm looking sideways at the barbecue.
What you wait a minute.
What was
you talking
that
about like
movie
a
was
distant
that?
cousin or something?
Yeah.
A cousin that's like distant and like 4th or 2nd cousin that you probably not you related to, but you're not related more by name and by trans. So what you saying?
I'm asking, is it okay to bring someone like that into your relationship?
I actually knew a guy who claimed that he had this is the lit round table hour. He smashed his distant cousin. That's what I heard him tell me he did. I like really, and I said, you disgust me.
Is that what you said to his face?
No, not really.
You said, tell me more.
Well, I'm like, but you know, he told me, I'm like, I mean, man, what made you do that? I said, well, you know, she's like my 3rd or 4th cousin. I'm like, okay, well, you're not technically not really related by blood, but I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? That's a little.
well, I mean, yeah. Because if you look at
This is years ago. A guy told me that. I'm like, really?
that, might be the same person that's looking at his first cousin or his niece or somebody else. Like, just stay away from family. Just
He probably listen to the show now.
Stay away from your family, young man.
He gonna curse you out later. Like, why you?
No, I ain't saying no names.
Find women who are not related to you in any form or fashion.
And that's one of them things. That's what he said. I'm like, okay, you know,
You proud of that?
sound like some no Pornhub, but I don't know.
Oh my God.
I'd be ready to watch that.
How does Will know about Pornhub?
First of all,
we grown folks up
And
here.
Will told me he got an OnlyFans
We
account.
grown now. I ain't got no OnlyFans. I knew somebody that did have one. though.
Pornhub was in
And
the
I
news
asked
this
myself
week.
why. I'm like, why you got OnlyFans? But I'm gonna leave that alone. So it was in the news this week.
I think it was a recent video, but yeah, more like a PSA, just saying how a lot of these Pornhub videos, the young women and girls that are in them, they're actually being trafficked and raped on camera. Like, you're not watching actors and actresses. Like, no, you're watching a young woman be raped.
Really?
Yeah, so there's like this whole video. I believe it is new, but just talking about what's really going on at Pornhub.
I have to investigate that. See,
I'm sure your investigation will be thorough.
I
Will.
have to investigate that. But you know, I have watched documentaries. You can find documentaries on some of the movie apps where they talk about that industry and how they do have these ads in the paper. I never knew.
Yeah.
You know, hey, models needed. I had seen those
And it's
type of
not
ads
for
for
models.
years.
Right.
I never knew that's what it was. You know, so I'm serious, man, and I'm like, what?
Right. So of course, I mean, there are, porn industry actors, like, legitimate actors, but yes, a lot of these young people are trafficked, raped.
There's a young lady who I went to college with, that she's in that industry. She went to Nia. She went to DePaul. I was in college with her, and I years went back later, and she's in that industry. And I was like,
that's the whole story.
That's but she's always quiet. It's always the quiet ones in college. Hey man.
So, do you all celebrate the 4th?
Yeah, I'm gonna celebrate it like we always celebrate. I'm gonna barbecue and stuff, cut some grass, and do some party. But yeah, why not, man? Look, black people have contributed greatly to this country. We did so much. All the inventions that we made. Black people, we done died in every war. And whenever they can't handle it, who they call? They call the brothers. They call the brothers and sisters. We fight the Revolutionary War. We fight the Civil War. We fight World War I. We fight World War II. Vietnam, Korean War. Vietnam, they said, hell, we just give it all to the brothers. They lost. We still need some help. We just can't do it all. We get called on every war. We have contributed so much. Unless you're a felon. Yeah, but still, we have done a lot. So let's not leave money on the table. Right. But let's not leave money on the table. We have invested greatly into this country. People talking about going back to Africa. Yeah, let's go back to Africa and get some property over there and keep some property over here. Just like people when they come from Mexico or they come from China or they come from any other country, Africa, they still have land over in their other country. You know what I'm saying? So yes, we can do it like that, but let's not completely disconnect ourselves from America. We are part of the quilt, and we have the fabric. We made this society.
What it is.
We molded the social spectrum.
I think that's the problem with the holiday is there isn't enough inclusion.
Right.
So it feels like it's them versus us because they don't acknowledge our contributions to making this country what it is.
Yeah.
Only time you ever hear them talking about black people is out slavery and during Black History Month.
Right.
All the other contributions is wiped from the history books. They never teach the kids about it. It's whitewashed.
Yeah, the spirit of 1776, and you see the picture of the man playing the drums, the boy playing the flute, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know, I totally understand that. Now, when I was in school, they taught Black history, and they stopped, you know, and I think that was part of the problem because you can see how much you have contributed toward this country.
You have a sense of identity about yourself, a sense of pride.
Yeah, all these laws that have come on the books, especially in the last 50 years, you know, when it comes to sexual harassment, civil rights, and all that, that's because black people, the contributions we made. So, you know, hey, we improve. We look good. We like that good fur coat. That fur coat you put on and you be flossing. That's what we is. But you know what I'm saying? Like that.
I've been trying to figure out.
That's what I'm saying.
Sandy, what about you? We know you stand for Juneteenth. Do you celebrate for it?
It's just you don't get the side angle for the
I've never really been a big celebrator of it.
And then we'll get
so yeah, I don't have any
the two folks over here.
for tomorrow.
And then if Netta's over there, we don't see her.
It'll be like regular
If
Saturday.
we move it over here.
Today felt like Saturday.
It kind of did.
It was so nice.
It was.
Yeah. But I think the COVID situation has made it kind of, because people will always be barbecuing, you'll be invited to a barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And if we
I'm
had
gonna
like,
take some
everyone's
leftovers
like
from
shift over
Slab
here kind
barbecue
of.
tonight.
Really?
So yeah, I'll eat on that
Or even
tomorrow.
over there.
The 4th is my youngest
Then you do
brother's
that.
birthday, so we always end up
Yeah,
celebrating
you know,
his
social
birthday.
distancing, I don't know how we
Yeah.
Okay.
with that kind of thing, because it would be better if like, in the middle,
Yeah, but
then I get everybody.
yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just
I mean, yeah, I will celebrate. I'll celebrate.
Yeah, but if everyone's comfortable enough to like sit next to each other, we could definitely get everybody.
I don't know about all that.
She gonna have a flag on the back of his rider board.
I don't know about all that.
Because you know, like earlier in the show,
Well, we really
Sandy, you
appreciate
can
you
see like
tuning
most
into
of her
the
face,
show on
because she'll like
this
lean
Friday
over this
night.
way.
We want to
When
make
she's not
sure we
talking to me,
remind you
But
to
when she
have
starts
a
talking, she
safe
like rotates over and then
weekend.
like
We don't
leans
want
in.
all these sad
So then it gets
stories.
like just
The
more of a
peaceful
side angle.
weekend. Yes.
So
Barbecue place,
Always
big
just
shout to them.
littered with all of the bad headlines about how many people got shot and killed. Let's have a
Everyone
safe
is comfortable,
weekend.
like,
Enjoy your family.
Barbecue.
One more shout out to Slab Barbecue. Thank you for taking care of us. You guys head over to
everyone's a little more comfortable sitting and get closer to each other,
Make sure you check them out.
whatever way.
WVON, thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.
But I don't know how everyone felt like.
What's new?